Hello, my name's Andrea Coleman and I'm going to demonstrate for you how to make an Artfelt Christmas picture. To get started, first make up your soap and water following the directions. We're going to make several patches of pre-felt. I am going to demonstrate the red for you now. You've got two shades of red. We're going to divide both of them in half, like that. Like that, and we'll use one half going in a horizontal direction and make a small patch. I'm just going to go halfway with that. Then I'll use the slightly darker colour and follow through. Then we'll go in a horizontal direction, but we'll do a quarter turn, and we can then follow with this lighter colour over the light, and then we'll repeat with the dark. When you've got two layers going in two different directions, you can pat down and put your cut up red silk all over. Pull it apart and sprinkle everywhere. Repeat this process with a patch of white, lilac and brown. You can cut up the coloured roving to make stripes on your lilac. Add the white silk to the top of your white patch and a tiny amount of black to make your brown look more interesting. Now, to turn your fleece into felt, we're going to sprinkle with soapy water. You need to have it fairly saturated. And then cover it with the thin plastic and press down, getting rid of any air bubbles. Next, we're going to rub it and get it stronger. We're going to put a tiny bit of soapy water on top of your plastic, and then you can slide your hand up and down. You need to do this for a minute and then quarter turn it and spend another minute on it, quarter turn and another minute, and a quarter turn and another minute. After your 4 minutes rubbing, you can test it to see if the fibres are clinging together. So you need to pinch it and see if you can pinch the fibres away from each other. If the whole thing's pulling away, it's probably done. If you like, you could then rub it like this all over, and you can also rub it on your bubble wrap. You'll have to hold the bubble wrap down. Once you've made all your pre-felt in the patches, you can then use the template to cut out the shapes. Don't forget, there's enough to make 2 Father Christmases and 2 snow people out of your kit. And there's also the pre-prepared pre-felt for the face. Before you start your backgrounds, divide the colours that you use in the background into 4, so you have enough for 4 pictures. Starting with the white, we will go in a horizontal direction and cover about halfway of your bubble wrap. Repeat this with the blue for the top part. quarter turn and repeat. Let the fibres go over into the other colour, that's fine. When you've completed your second layer, you can put some sparkly fibres on the top of the blue area. Then repeat with the blue as you did with the first layer. And then you can add a small amount of navy blue. Don't worry if the sparkles seem to disappear. They will turn up later on. You don't need very much. And again with the navy blue, really small amounts. Then we can cover this part with your pale blue. To create a horizon, you can use your grey blue just over this area, and then to create a stronger icy colour in your foreground, use the turquoise. You can always add bits of the icy blue as you go along. When you're happy with your background, saturate it with your soapy water and repeat the process that you did with the patches. You may have to work a little bit longer to get a stronger piece of felt. When your background is dry, then you can place your pre-felt that you cut out earlier where you want it. For the Father Christmas, put it on the foam before you start. You can then poke using your felting needle to get it into place. With the sack, you can crease it up a tiny bit to make it look like something's actually in there. So once you've finished poking the body, the sack and the face and the hat in place, you can trim the edge of the hat and add a bobble and the beard and a little bit of blue for the eye. Don't finish off this area before you do the boot. So you take a small piece of black fleece and then you twist the end quite firmly like that. You might need to trim a bit of this off the end here. Then you can poke it under his body like that, and then poke it into place and create the boot. And then finish off. To finish the snow people, needle felt all the bodies and the face and the hats in place. You can add a bobble and eyes and a nose. To make the eyes, you have to make a really small amount of black and then put it in place. Don't poke in the same place, just go round the edges. To do a nose, take a tiny bit of orange, fold it over on itself, tear it if you need to, and then place and poke. To make the scarves, cut a small amount of the fleece, the pre-felt you had earlier, and you can even screw it up a little bit as you're placing it to create a little bit of movement. Once you've finished making your pictures, you can mount them on card to make a fabulous Christmas card for somebody really special. If you're feeling in a Christmassy mood still, you could try making a pair of Christmas boots to hang on your tree, or a Christmas pudding.